Good day, colleagues. Welcome to Dr. Nwaru's weekly science career nuggets. This is a forum for weekly tips for successful science career for African scholars. This is episode 2. And this episode, we'll be asking the question, why are you a scientist? In the last episode, in which I introduced this journey we're into this year, I highlighted why we should aim for success in our career this year. I'm sure you're ready to go to the next level. I am ready. But success does not come on a platter of gold. We know all of this. The fact is that you have to work for it. Hard work is required at each stage of the journey. You need a strategy to map out your success story. Your strategy should have the right tools. But without knowing why we are in this journey, without knowing why you have taken a career in science, no matter how sophisticated your strategy is and tools you have, the strategy and your tools may always be deficient. The ultimate satisfaction may not be there, believe me, just because you do not know why you're doing what you're doing. The why question is a fundamental one to our existence. The why question exposes a purpose. The why question leads to productivity. It minimizes reactivity. It produces productivity. The why question is important. As a scientist, as an African scientist, is important. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I taking the direction I'm taking? Why am I here? Well, you know what? Rarely do we take time. Do we take the patience that is required to think about this? Why am I a scientist in the first place? We must ask the why question if we want to get where we should be. Let me share my screen with you and show you something. Just a second. I share my screen with you here. I have to stop this video so you can see this clearly. Stop the video. This is Sinek's golden circle. He has presented a TED talk on this, and it's very inspiring. But what is he doing here? What is he showing us here? Simon Sinek call this the golden circle. You see 3 circles here. The outer one is what, the middle one is how, the innermost one is why. His explanation here is that every organization on the planet, or everybody, know what they do. Every organization, or not every organization, sorry, few organizations or few people actually know how to do what they do. But strikingly, very few people, very small amount of people in this world actually know and can defend the why for what they do. These few people are among the greatest leaders of all time, he says. The most successful and the most inspirational. They know and they are tied to the purpose, the cause, the belief, the meaning of what they do. If you have not watched his TED Talk before, please just take your time. It's around 18 minutes and you're done. And you learn something, which I also learned. He actually wrote a book on that. You see his TED Talk, his book, Start with Why. Why are you a scientist? Why are you an African scientist? Why do you do the research you do today? Why do you wake up in the morning and head for your office and continue to do the same thing from day to day, from month to month, from year to year? Is it to earn money, to earn a salary, to survive life, eventually get your PhD, get the title professor, or why? Just why do you do the things you do as a scientist? What will you be remembered for when you leave the scene? According to Simon Sinek, the small amount of people who contemplate, think deep, and answer the why question are usually the most successful people in our world. So if you have not thought about the why for where you are, the why for what you do, you have to begin this year. You have to begin actually right now. The why question is fundamental to our life, our happiness, our success, our productivity, our output, our career progress. In fact, going to the next level, the why question needs to be answered. Each of us, as scientists, need to answer it. Unfortunately, majority of us don't think about it or have not thought about it. And that is why my only question for you this week, in the nugget of this week, is why are you a scientist? Why do you do the current research work you do, or do you have, or you have been doing? Why? What is your ultimate purpose? Have you ever found why? When did you find your why? What is your why? Let's get the conversation going. Please, let's use the comment box. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. There's nothing wrong to say, well, I have not thought about this before, actually. Perhaps this can be the start of a meaningful journey for you, for your career, because finding the why changes our perspectives, provides a fundamental basis for successful and meaningful career. Let's discuss it. It turns out that science has an ultimate goal, ultimate purpose that it aims to fulfill. The why we do what we do as scientists. Science has a purpose, science has a goal. And I show you this, which is a fantastic figure. This is UNESCO description of what science is. The greatest collective endeavor ensures longer and healthier life, provides medicine to cure our disease, provides water for our taste, helps to grow our foods, provides energy for our consumption, makes life more fun by providing sports, music, ICT, and so on and so forth. Science must respond to societal needs and global challenges. Science must drive our pursuit of more equitable and sustainable development. This is why we should wake up in the morning to set out. Yes, perhaps many scientists don't think about their role as scientists along these lines. Perhaps you have not or have not seen yourself in this picture before. Really, as a scientist, this should be our daily preoccupation. You wake up in the morning, dress up, set out for your work. This must occupy your mind to make at least someone happy, to make the world we live, the environment we live safer and happier. Can you imagine the fulfillment we all get from our work if we are tuned in this direction of the descriptions we have here? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the level of stress you will cut out by finding the why for doing what you do as a scientist? Yes, this is where a successful career for this year starts. Finding your why. Actually, our work as scientists should be as seen as each of us holding a jigsaw puzzle. The completeness of this puzzle is a happy and healthy society. Have you found the place in the puzzle to put your own piece? Perhaps you have not found a why. This can be a start for you. Well, colleagues, my time is almost up. I want to end today's and this week's nuggets by highlighting the significance of the why question for you as an African scientist. As Africans, it's not difficult, I think, to find a why. The why to be a scientist in this continent. Why do I say that? Look at all the global indices of development, our dear continent. when you compare to other places, other regions, lags behind in many of those indices, if not in most. Look at internet usage, Africa lags behind. You see our color? This could be a why for those in the technology. Look at our life expectancy. Africa lags behind compared to other places. This could be a why for those in medicine, demography, in health. Look at the population projection. You see, Africa, the gap in 1950 between Africa and Asia. In 2100, Africa is almost crossing Asia. This is cause for deep thinking. This is a why for us to be scientists, to change narrative. Look at clean water, drinking water. Africa lags behind. Food to eat, poverty, our continent lags behind. These are important. Why? Can you see that there are many reasons to be a scientist in Africa? Can you see that many pieces of the puzzle are missing for their continent? Can you see the reason that happiness, health, and positive development of our their continent depends on our individual successes as scientists? And when we bring all our efforts together, when we bring all the pieces of the puzzle, I believe that we're gonna make a sweet story. And then we really have anticipated success until we begin to ask why. Why are you a scientist? Why are we African scientists? Colleagues, I will end here today, and I hope we can all think about this for the remaining part of this week. Next week, I will speak about the ethos of modern science, episode 3. Having found the why we do what we do as scientists, we should then start walking through how we ought to do what we do. It is good, really, to assess ourselves, think about, take account of who we are. But before we actually delve into how, it is important for us to look at the values we bring to the table. Have you defined your own values as a scientist? How much do you keep faith to the values you have? The nugget next week will describe these values. So, this is where I end today. Please don't forget to subscribe. For when you subscribe, then you get alert when it is posted. And like our videos, share it. Freely you have received, freely give. Thank you for listening.